Well, thank you, Adam. Thank you for coming down. It's been an eventful year for you. I mean, a great eventful year with you getting married, and your golf has been very, very good. Would you say it's been a great year for you?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say it's been a great year, absolutely. I like to look at the positives out of everything, and of course I would have liked to have won more tournaments and made more putts and all that kind of stuff, but from a golf side of things, certainly any time you get to number one in the world in a given year, things have to be pretty good. So that was a great achievement for me this year, and winning Colonial that same week made it very special. So you know, I'm satisfied with things, but always looking to get better.
You've been out on the golf course, and does it suit your eye, this golf course? Do you like it?
Yeah, I think so. It's a little bit different than what I remember, but I haven't played here that much in the past. But obviously there's been a lot of work done, and they've presented a beautiful golf course for us this week. But you know, my feeling is it's certainly going to favour the longer hitters this week. There's no rough out there. You know, it seems like it just hasn't grown in for them yet. But hopefully, with some pretty long straight driving, you'll be able to take advantage of a few holes.
Rory, when he came in, said it's a typical Jack Nicklaus golf course with very rolling greens, lots of humps, and that's how you see it, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. It certainly reminds me of a few of his courses, the green complexes. Even though they're quite small, there's quite a lot of movement going on the greens. And in some ways, it's quite obvious pin positions. You know, there's a back right and a front right and a front left, just from the way the undulation is. And you've got to get in that kind of section to have a really good look and a flat putt. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of putting up over hills and across hills this week. So getting in there close with the irons would be helpful.
He said that he thought that the score so much depended on the wind this weekend. That'll be a huge factor in the scoring. Do you feel the same?
Absolutely. The wind is the defence this week. Like I said, there's no rough, so you know, that's not going to penalise any stray shots as much as it normally would, but the wind still will. The greens are fairly small, and they play smaller than they actually are because some have quite a lot of false fronts and runoffs. If it gets windy, it's going to get tricky, and the scores will go up, so it really is exactly that. It depends on the wind.
Okay. Questions, please, ladies and gentlemen, and use a microphone. Peter Stone.
How are you, Adam?
Good, thank you.
I know a lot was written last week about your caddy situation, but just how difficult has it been cutting the umbilical cord with Steve?
Well, it was difficult at the time, for sure, because we had such a good and successful time together. But those things change and you move on, you know, into different stages of your career or your life. And, you know, I think it's good timing for me that I've got a bit of time up my sleeve to not have to jump out there and make a decision and put someone on straight away and think it might be the wrong decision or have to chop and change, and just trying to buy myself a little time to see exactly what I want, because obviously Steve is such a strong character and unique caddy that I guess I'm not looking to replace him. I think that'd be the wrong way to go about it.
And just on that, you've got Mike on the bag this week. Was he one of the thousands, hundreds that applied to you, or did you pull him out of, you'd seen him in operation, or?
Yeah, no, look, the couple guys I've used over the last few weeks have been guys I've been quite friendly with on tour over the last... And look, it's a very difficult thing to kind of borrow Mike from another player for a couple of weeks.
Well, who's he with right now?
Torbjorn Olesen.
Oh, he's with
You know,
him,
and it's
right.
all a bit of a sensitive thing, so I'm doing it more as they're trying to help me out as well. You know, a big thing for me in finding a new caddy is going to be the personality and how that gels, certainly with me, but with the rest of the people around me as well, and how we work as a team, and that's going to be important. And you know, using a couple different personalities in these weeks is somewhat my criteria for who's coming out. And Mike's been a friend of mine for at least 12 years, ever since he's been on tour. And he's a very nice guy and has caddied for some great players as well. So, you know, I'm happy that he could come out for a couple of weeks.
You say personality. Does he have to be a strong personality, a strong character? Like, you know, Stevie was that.
Of course. No, not necessarily. It just has to be the right personality for what I'm looking for. And like I said, coming off such a strong one, you know, and somewhat, well, there probably isn't another Steve Williams out there, so I need to find what's best going to suit me.
I was going to ask you about long putters too, but I'm trying to dominate again, as I normally do. You're going to leave that till next Christmas, or?
Yeah, I'll be putting the same way all next year.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Stoney.
Adam, after coming runner-up in last year's Oz Open, how much would it mean to you to win this one?
Yeah, I certainly have a thorn in my side after not winning last year. I did everything but win, I felt like, when it came down to it. But on the day, Rory played a great Sunday last year, and I had my chances. Even late in the piece, I had my chances to kind of close the door, but I left it open, and you can't do that with, you know, the best players in the world who also want to win. They'll walk right through, and Rory did. So I've had good preparation, I think, coming in the last few weeks, from playing in China to getting up into contention late on Sunday last week and getting close. I think my game's shaping up nicely, so I'm very comfortable with where it's at. But of course, there's a lot of shots and challenges before Sunday afternoon, and even thinking about winning this week. My goal will be, just like any other tournament, just to kind of work my way into a great place, so I've got a chance on Sunday.
And if you do win this one, you'll move up back into number 2. Is that what you're hoping for?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, you know, winning, only good things happen from winning tournaments, and I keep it pretty simple. Like, my goal is to win, and getting to number 2, that's great. It's, you know, the world rankings, the way I see it, it's important, of course, but there are 2 important positions, being number 1 and being inside the top 50. They're important for different reasons, but, you know, whether I'm 2 or 3, it's not a big deal, but getting closer to 1 is.
Bruce?
Adam, you covered some of this in your last response, but you said on Sunday that you really felt that your game was on song. Your driving, your iron play, your putting, everything was pretty solid. Has that flowed on into this week?
Yeah, it's felt good. I had a nice 9 holes yesterday, and I played nicely on the back 9 today. I was very happy with that. I have to say, overall, you know, all areas of my game, especially my short game, feel very good, and you know, I'm pretty confident that I'll have a solid week this week. I'd love it to be that week where it all kind of falls into place and you can't put a foot wrong. That's what I'm working towards. Hopefully it happens this week.
Nicole?
Adam, Nicole Jeffrey from The Australian. Last year, obviously, you were on the Green Jacket Tour. You had a lot of other extra commitments, and there was hoopla around everything you did and everywhere you went. It kind of, you seemed pretty tired by the last day of the Australian Open after that long stretch. How different is it coming back this year from that?
Yeah, certainly a little different. I think I kind of rode the wave of excitement as well last year, which was really great for me. It was an incredible month and a very memorable one in my career, not just the golf side of things, but all the other stuff was really great to experience and share with a lot of the golf fans back here. And
last question.
yeah, sorry.
Done.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
year's a little
So-
different, and but still the support's been great, and you know, I still feel everyone's excited to come out and watch the golf. So it's nice to see, you know, the positive vibes around Australian golf carrying on.
Adam, you mentioned that the defeat last year is a thorn in your side, and is that unusual for you that normally you can let stuff go, but can you explain why this one lingers in your mind still?
Yeah, probably one, it's the Aussie Open. You know, getting on that trophy was a big moment in my career, so to have won it a second time would have been pretty special. I thought I played well enough and had everything under control to do that last year. The way that I lost to bogey the last, to make an error at that point, is frustrating as a competitor or any athlete. To make the error there, it just hurts more than if you do it on the 6th hole, for example. You know, it's crucial at that point, and I think most people would pride themselves on being able to execute, and I've executed many times in the past, but not that one. And it's part of the process of becoming a better player, that when you're up there more, you're going to win more, but you're also going to lose some as well, and have to deal with that. So some will hurt more than others, and I was pretty annoyed at myself that Sunday night.
Adam, Rory just said earlier that he felt you were too nice a guy really to develop a real bitter rivalry with. Is that something is that how you look at the relationship with him as well, or is that just a facade and underneath you?
Yeah,
you're out for it?
Probably. I'm not going to answer truthfully, or I'll give it all away. No, I think I've found, speaking from my side anyway, that we've somewhat pushed each other along over the last couple of years, and certainly the last half of this year, Rory's taken his game up a notch, and that's inspired me to work harder, because he's got to have more motivation than ever for what's upcoming for him. You know, next year he's got a chance to complete things in a career that only so few have done. So he's going to be really motivated. So if that's my competition's really motivated and that good, I'm going to have to work really hard as well. So, you know, if you push each other along, that's how everyone keeps getting better and better. And of course, Tiger did that over a period, and the talent pool is really deep out there, and it's not probably seen everywhere else in the world where it's a Rory and Adam rivalry. More so down here because we played at Royal Sydney last year together, but I certainly welcome the challenge, because you know, these are the best years of my career, and I'm going to have to get the best out of myself to beat a guy like that.
Last question, thank you.
I'll just throw one in. Kathy mentioned you were married this year. How's that changed your life and your golfing life?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't really changed anything, to be honest. It's a great bit of stability for my life, and I think you know, the timing was good for that. So you reach that point where that's important, and I reached it, and it's only been a good, positive thing for me.
Very last.
When you say Rory's taken his game to the next level, what parts of your game have to improve to catch up to him? I know you always say you're working on every part of your game, but is there something you think you have to improve on?
Just doing it, you know, just, it's all, I really feel it's all there. I just have to keep practicing, and I just have to go out and execute. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's about getting out of your own way and being able to perform somehow like you practice under the biggest pressure. And I think Rory really did that incredibly well this summer at the Open and the WGC and the PGA. He just got out of his way. He knew his game was on, and it was great golf, and I think that's exactly what I'm trying to do.